Thursday, May 9th, 2019, Maneco 64, home of alternative economics and contrarian views. Yesterday was an interesting day. After I did my video, I went into the city of London, took the train to see one of my old friends who happens to be also a sound money guy, a gold bug. We used to work at the same firm, not on the same desk, but we're really close friends at MF Global. MF Global, of course, was taken down by John Corzine, who was an ex-Goldman Sachs CEO. He was a senator for New Jersey. And I remember when I left MF Global to go to another firm in 2010, just before I joined the other firm, like about a month later, John Corzine took over the firm. And I was surprised. I thought to myself, why would he be taking over MF Global? And I think we know why he did it, because he wanted to use it as his, an instrument to put on a trade he shouldn't have done. And he used client money to do that. What happened to him? Nothing. Of course, he's a well-connected guy. MF Global, of course, prior to going public, he used to be called Men Financial. So I went to see my friend, and I went up to the office to meet him. There were a couple of other guys who actually worked with me on the same desk. They were there. One of them was there. The other one had gone out. And both of them had a tough time after MF Global went bust, because they lost their jobs. And they had to rebuild, their business again. And they did it through this firm where my friend started out this firm, like a London arm. It's a big U.S. firm. I won't tell you the name, but it was interesting to go up there. My friend and I went out for a quick bite to eat, and we had a nice chat. It would have been nicer to stay longer, but he had to go back to work. He has gold and silver as well, physical. And this is what he said to me after I left. I texted him. I said, "Oh, I really enjoyed it." And then I saw that gold had gone down, like from 1290.91 to around 1282. Right after the U.S. opened. This was in the afternoon, London. And then he said to me, "Yeah, they're trying it really hard." And this is what he said to me: "I think the system falls apart soon." So that's what he thinks. Does that mean it will, just because he works in the city? No, but just goes to show you that not everyone working in the city or in the financial system is, how can I say, blind to what's going on. One thing he told me, he's got his clients actually, they just use the electronic system that the firm has, so he doesn't talk to them that much. All their business is done through a machine, and he gets, I guess, the commission. But he still talks to some of them who used to work for the big banks in the city. But and he even told me, I have someone that is a good client. He trades through my firm. He said, "You would like him, Mario. He's a really nice guy, and he knows, all the people he talks to." He says, what's happening in the city or Wall Street is that, and the mainstream media like Bloomberg, CNBC, everyone knows that the system is rotten and that it will go down. The thing is, they're just trying to keep the game going. And that's why it's important for people who have too much exposure to the system to be aware that there is this danger and maybe take some protection. I got a comment yesterday because I have a promo code if people want to buy gold and silver here in the UK. And someone said, "Oh, you have a conflict of interest because you're pushing gold." you're making money off this. No, I'm not. The only reason I put the promo code there, and if people want to protect themselves with physical gold and silver, is that they have asked me to. And that promo code has only been there for about 6 months. What I would say, yes, try to use my promo code, which is in the description below if you're in the UK or even worldwide, they will ship it to you. But if you find a better price from another dealer, go to the dealer. I don't care. And I'm not telling anyone what to do. I'm just saying what I'm doing, what my colleague is doing. And it was really interesting because I contacted my friend. I'm not going to give you his name, but I contacted him a couple of weeks ago. I said, oh, maybe we should meet up. And we did yesterday, and I hadn't seen him for a while. And it's weird because when I got to the office there, I also got a call on my phone, my mobile phone or cell phone, from one of my best clients, actually, who I hadn't heard from for over a year. And I couldn't talk to him. I said, I'm sorry, I'm meeting someone. Can you call me later? He works for one of the big banks, but I can tell you he's just a normal person trying to make a living as well with a family. And he's a decent guy as well. I got that old client also into gold and silver. I'm not sure what he's done with his gold and silver. One of the things we talked about, my friend and I yesterday, about silver, how undervalued it is. He reminded me of a company that we used to talk about a lot that is a good proxy to go long silver if you don't want to buy physical silver, and that's Hecla Mining. So I'm looking at Hecla Mining. I'm not recommending it, but it's HECLA Mining, Hecla Mining. I think I forgot what the ticker is. Let's have a look here. But Hecla. Ticker is HL. It's one of the oldest mining companies in the U.S. Hecla Mining is a silver precious metal mining company based in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. Founded in 1891, Hecla Mining was prominent in what became known as the Silver Valley, which has the second largest deposits of silver in the country. Have a look at the Hecla Mining chart and go back like 20 years and see where it is. It could be a good play on silver, and that, my friend said he's looking at that. I think I was the guy who recommended him like years ago, Hecla Mining, and so he's kept an eye on that. So the other thing I wanted to talk about before I go to just have a quick look at these markets is how I had like a eureka moment about 15, 16 years ago when I was at work in the city. I went out to get some lunch and I was putting the change in my wallet, and I just took out one of these. Actually, it was a 20-pound note. And I've told this before to some of you, probably know this, but I always get new viewers and subscribers. So this is a Bank of England note. You see, this is not money. This is a promissory note. And it's interesting that the Bank of England still keeps here. If you read under Bank of England, it says, I promise to pay the bearer on demand the sum of £20. And I saw that day when I was walking back to the office. And I had started buying gold already, so I was looking at the history of gold, money. That's what buying gold and silver does. I bought it just because I thought, oh, it might be a good way to diversify. It was just after the dot-com bubble burst. Things weren't doing great. I thought, and I bought some gold coins, and I started looking into things, and then you start reading, and I saw this and I thought, wow, if you go to the Bank of England with this, what they say is that they'll give you a new note for an old note. So why do they keep the old promise to actually redeem gold coins on the note? It just goes to show you that they hide it in plain sight. and that the system is bogus. With a 20-pound note, I guess before 1914, you could go to the bank and get 20 of these, because that's a pound legally. It's a sovereign, you see. So you could get a lot of these. And you could get 20 of these. Now, with one of these, you get less than a tenth of these. But I remember when I started buying these in 2002-3, I only needed about 50 pounds to get one of these. So yeah, it's going to get worse in my opinion. I know it's been frustrating, the price of gold, but it's more of a protection for your wealth. And believe me, when I started buying gold in 2002, it did go up in dollars, but in pounds, it wasn't until 2006-7 that it really started zooming up. It stayed between 220, 230 for 4 years. Just like we're doing now, that it's not moving that much, but you will see it's going to go. And anyway, having gold coins or silver coins is not about getting rich. It's about protecting your purchasing power. If I hadn't bought my gold back in 2002, even though I bought gold later, I didn't buy all my gold at that price. I wish I had. But if I'd kept it in these, I wouldn't be able to buy as much today. But yeah, this has gone from 50 pounds to 230 now. So just think about that. Yeah, when I saw that, I thought to myself, this system is not sustainable. And it wasn't, because a few years later we had the '08 crisis. The whole thing almost collapsed, right? And they didn't do anything to fix it. The system's still rotten, just like my friend said up in the city. Everyone knows. Of course, there's some people, younger people, who I don't think maybe don't realize what's going on. But I think, we're close to some kind of event. Does it mean my friend is right? He said, I think the system falls apart soon. Maybe. Yeah, I think it would be the best thing in the long term, because do we really have free markets and small government in the West? I mean, everything seems to be upside down. We're told the Russians are bad. The Iranians are bad. They're evil. Venezuelans, they're Mike Pompeo called Venezuela, Cuba, and Nicaragua like the triumvirate of evil or something to that effect. But you look here at this chart, general government gross debt percentage of GDP 2018. And which are the countries that are like, 100% or more? Well, you've got the United States, you've got Italy, you've got Britain, France, all the Western European countries. They've got loads of debt. So that means that the government is too big. Government is interfering with the free market. And then you look at Russia. And less than 25% of GDP in debt, and the former Russian republics as well, to the south of it. And we're told that they're authoritarian, that they're corrupt, but their government is smaller. It doesn't have as much control of the economy. China, of course, unfortunately for them, I think they're at between 50 and 75% or maybe more of GDP. Australia, yet doesn't have that much debt, the government. Iran also, he's light green, that's 25 to 50%. Turkey doesn't have much debt as a country. So just wanted to show you that. So quickly, the markets. Yesterday, the stock market did rebound during the day, but had a really bad close. I saw the S&P and the and the NASDAQ finished down, and the Dow was up about 2 or 4 points. I can tell you this morning, it's just before 8 a.m., the Dow is down 90, S&P is down 13, the NASDAQ is down 51. Gold has, it's at 1282.20. It was frustrating yesterday, but I'll stick to holding golds. That's what my friend said. He has quite a bit of gold and silver, and he said I could put it in the bank, but I don't trust him. Yeah, when you put it in the bank, it's an unsecured loan to the bank, so it's not yours anymore legally. Not only in the UK, but in the US and most of the major Western countries. So yeah, you can stick to dollars, which is really a Federal Reserve promissory note for nothing. Or you can stick to this kind of money that's been around for thousands of years. And that one, of course, silver. That's 1964 quarter, which is 90% silver. Yeah, you can stick to the empty promises, or you can stick to that. I know which one I'm going to stick with. Of course, it doesn't mean that I don't still use paper money and I don't have some in my bank account. The rest of the markets are pretty stable. I won't go through them right now, but looks like it's going to be another interesting day in the stock market. I think if there are sanctions imposed, it will be by 12:01 a.m. Friday U.S. time on China. I think the Chinese are in Washington, D.C. right now trying to negotiate something. We'll have to see. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. You can also follow me on Twitter, Steemit, and on DTube. I wish you all a great day. Take care. Bye.